Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're listening to this broadcast, this podcast. I am Dr. Lene Vet. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. Today, we're talking about a conversation that's been making its way across social media. When a Black man says what he wants in a woman, he's often labeled as sassy, zesty, or acting like a diva. But is that fair? This viral debate is exposing deeper conversations about masculinity, respect, and communication between Black men and Black women. Are we really dismissing each other's standards, or are we just talking past one another? Let's get into this. Today, we're joined by our queens. Our roundtable includes Nomalenga, M3, marriage, motherhood, money-making, media personality, and cultural commentator, Aisha Verzi, financial and insurance expert, and Mary Dean Esquire, the Wall Street lawyer. Good morning, queens. Good afternoon, depending on... good evening, Nomalenga. It's not morning for you. Good evening, girl. You've had a full day already, okay? And welcome in the chat. Thank you so much for tuning in on today. We appreciate you guys as always. So I'm going to start with you, Aisha. When you hear the term sassy man, what comes to your mind? What do you think of when you think of a sassy man?
Sassy man, that's crazy. When I first heard it, I'm like, wow, what is a sassy man? Because when I hear sassy, I think about women, right? Women being maybe mouthing off and saying things. That's what I think about. So when it's sassy man, how can a guy be sassy? So I'm excited to talk about it today, but sassy means just talking off and acting like a woman. That's
okay.
right.
So a man is acting like a woman. Okay. No, but what about you? When you hear the term sassy man, what is that? What do you think of?
Well, when I was sharing with my Facebook audience about we're going to be on the show, I said, tune in and you can hear what I have to say about these chatty Cathys. So I think you can already know how I feel, what I'm thinking. Okay. Sassy just means, acting like a woman and you're supposed to be a man.
Okay, acting like a woman, you're supposed to be a man. Okay, what about you, Mary? You feel the same way? Yeah, okay. So sassy, this definition of sassy is to be lively, bold, and spirited, often with a touch of cheeky, playful disrespect. It involves being quick-witted and confident, speaking your mind with a confident and sometimes impudent attitude that can be seen as a compliment or a sign of disrespect, depending on the context. The term can also describe something as stylish and bold, like a sassy little hat, right? So when I hear the word sassy, I don't think that a man can be sassy unless the intent is to be feminine, right? I don't necessarily think that standards make a man sassy. So if a man is speaking up and saying what he wants and does not want, and he has boundaries, I don't think the boundaries are sassy. There are some sassy men, not masculine. I don't think you can be masculine and sassy. I guess that's what I'm saying, because there is a lifestyle of men that are sassy and they want to be sassy and they choose to be sassy. But I don't think all men are sassy. And I don't think that sassy is defined based on your standards, right? So our topic today is stop calling him sassy. Are Black women dismissing Black men's standards? So let's talk about standards. If a man comes to you and talks about what his standards are and what his boundaries are, Nomalenga, I'm going to start with my marriage motherhood over here. If a man comes to you and says, Nomalenga, I want, I need, these are my boundaries. I need you to respect who I am and what I do and how I operate. Would you consider him being sassy, or would you consider that he has standards?
Definitely sassy. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have standards, right? I know people are going to misinterpret what we're saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying men shouldn't have standards. I'm just saying he should operate like a masculine, healthy man. And most men are not as vocal as us women. And if a man is too vocal and chatty, that should be a red flag for you as a woman, because it means that he's operating more in his effeminate state than more in his masculine state. There's an art to reading men. They will tell you a lot and sometimes not even say anything. And sometimes we miss it. Now, if he starts talking like a woman would, that should be a red flag. But most men, if they're healthy and they're masculine, get exhausted by us chatting all the time. And you'll see them kind of disappearing off or going somewhere, because that's too exhausting for them. And we can go from morning to night, laughing, talking, expressing ourselves, talking about our feelings. That's normal for us, but it's not normal for a man.
So it sounds, and I'm going to bring this over to you, Aisha, because you're also married, right? So I believe it's something like, my numbers might be off, so you can let me know in the chat if I'm off. Women use 20,000 words a day, and men use like 10,000 words a day, something like that. Or it might be, it's something like it's half, right? And so when we think about that, as women, we say, express yourself. Tell me what you're thinking. Tell me how you feel, right? But then we say, don't tell me, like our standards and emotional intelligence and being able to communicate what your needs are. Do you think that those are the same, or that they're different, Aisha? Like, should we want men to be able to tell us what they think and how they feel, or should we be like, we don't want to hear it? Are you on mute? I think you're on mute.
I think that's funny that you say I don't want to hear it.
Say it again.
Saying that
I don't want to
hear it.
Ooh.
Oh.
So you don't want to hear. You don't want to hear his.
No. From the comment you said, like I don't want to hear it, right?
Mhm.
But I think there should be a balance. To me, I prefer my husband to tell me how he's feeling and what's going on, but some details are to be left for the man. That's where his strength comes in. That is where his protection piece as a man comes in, right? Since that he's dealing with. But if he wants to share something that is important to him, that makes him feel respected and loved and appreciated, I want to know. Because how else can you have a relationship where he feels that he has a place where he can call home if he cannot talk to you, right? If he feels that if he tells you something, you're going to belittle him or make him feel like he's less than. And to me, I think there's a balance. So, and me and my husband, we're married 22 years now, just a few weeks ago. So I see that as a way for us to communicate. But again, having a balance where you don't overshare what the man's supposed to do to me as a burden to me. Rather, maybe just to share me what you need from me so I can help you feel better and stronger as a man. That I can do all day long, because that's my role in the relationship as his wife. I want to support him, make sure that he's good, know where he feels there's no place for him to go and has to go somewhere else to find where he can talk to someone. So that's how I see it. There should be a balance when you communicate with your husband and how he feels.
So balance and communication. Mary, what do you think? As one of the two single ladies on the panel, and out here dating and talking to me and trying to figure out, like, what do you like and what do you want? Who are you? Like, is there a match? Like, how much should he tell you about? What do you want to know? You're on me too, I believe.
Hey, y'all. Hey. I like my men to be intelligent, and intelligent men tend to speak. I love men who are salesmen, and they tend to have a vocabulary, and they talk, and and so I enjoy that. I'm a sapiosexual, so I do love an intelligent mind, and you don't know if a mind is intelligent unless it expresses itself. So I do enjoy that. But I will say there was a guy that was trying to court me this summer, and he was a tad bit too emotional for my needs. And so But but I pondered this question literally because it's like you want a guy that is, caring and concerned about your heart and careful with your emotions and concerned about that. But when he's too emotional, I feel like, well, what am I supposed to do? Let my nuts hang and jangle like janitor keys? I don't know. I'm confused here. And so I want a man to be emotionally intelligent. I don't want him to be emotionally uncontrolled. There.
Okay. I think there's a balance because like yourself, like I want him to be masculine and the provider and all those things, but I also want to be his soft place. So you don't have to talk to nobody else, right? You don't got to tell nobody else your emotions, your feelings. But me, I want to be your safe place, your soft place, your place where you can rest your head. And if something's going on, then you can communicate. You feel safe enough to communicate to me and talk to me. Not in a sassy way, whatever sassy it means, right? Feminine or whatever.
Or every day.
Huh?
Or every day.
All right, maybe not every day. You know what I'm saying? Not every day. Because my guy, like, sometimes it's like pulling teeth to be like, what's going on? It's good. Well, I can tell something is wrong with you. Like, tell me what's going on. I can see that something is wrong with you. It's good. Complaining ain't gonna solve it. I'm not saying to complain. I'm like release your burden sometimes. So I think there's a balance on that masculine. I got it. I'm gonna take care of it. I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? Versus sometimes your armor gonna get jacked up if you don't just like let somebody hug you and hold you and be like, yeah, like rest, it's okay, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to our first video. We'll keep this going.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow.
You know what's wild? We have men out here who are setting boundaries. They are protecting their peace. They are refusing disrespect, and now women are calling that sassy. We say we want emotionally intelligent men. We say we want men who communicate, who know their worth, who don't lean on us for everything, who man up. But the moment he doesn't tolerate your dysfunction, you label him. Let's be honest, that word sassy is just modern day shaming. It's what I call emotional slavery. It's how our culture punishes our men for having standards. It's as if you're trying to guilt them back into silence, into people pleasing, into tolerating what's toxic. When we use those words, we tear men down for showing self-control. Like, that is just backwards. We're not just breaking a man down, we're literally breaking down our culture, which has been broken far enough, deep enough, and long enough. So let's stop with the name calling. Let's stop calling healed behavior sassy just because it does not cater to your comfort. Let's celebrate men who have standards, ladies, who have emotional boundaries, who know when to walk away, and who know how to say, that's not how I'm going to be spoken to. That's not how I'm going to be treated. And if y'all call that sassy, then my message to my brothers, keep being sassy.
So I think I like what she said. Actually, I was surprised. I thought it was going to be something crazy to the left, but it was good. Shout out to our producer. I want to go to what Renegade said, because I think that it's a good setup to this conversation. As a man, I was forced to open up, and when I did, I got talked down to. Never again. Chandler Thomas Jr. said it's dangerous to give women your emotional side because women's emotions are all over the place. And so I think when if you think about the landscape of the world we live in today, and social media plays a part of it, but you think about the landscape of the world we live in today, women is crazy. You got to have $1,000 to take me out. I don't do the Cheesecake Factory. You can't do this. You can't do that. We women have exceptional high standard boundaries, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I'm saying know your lane. You know what lane of life you live in to have these types of rules and whatever. And so when a man comes along and says, "Well, I have those same ones," like you can't be a $25,000 a year earner talking about I want a millionaire. Like both is it fair for both sides to have standards, Nomalanga? Like what do you think? Do you think only women should have standards and men shouldn't?
Men should absolutely have standards. And when he has established a safe and committed relationship with a woman, and by that I mean marriage, he should be able to have a soft place to fall on. He should be able to express himself. He should be able to sometimes even be vulnerable or whatever it is. But first of all, he can't do that every day. Okay. That's the first thing, because how are we ever going to move along in life if we have a man crumbling and crying every day? That's not going to work. Okay. But he should absolutely be able to have standards. I think what we're trying to say here, or let me not speak for anybody else, is the way that we express ourselves is different. The way a woman expresses herself is different from how a man expresses himself. And if a man is expressing himself too much like a woman, that's a problem, right? Like you even said, like men use a smaller vocabulary than women. They get exhausted from talking too much. We get energized and excited and what have you. Even when we're introverts, we enjoy it. You want to hang out with your girls, you want to talk, you want to be trashy or whatever, gossip, rumors. That's normal for women. If you see a bunch of chatty Cathy men sitting around gossiping, slapping each other, say, "Hey, that would be disturbing," because again, we cannot be the same. That's what I think we're trying to say. So yeah, if a man behaves too much like a woman, that's a red flag. That is how he ends up getting called sassy. If he's too emotional, if he's too chatty, if he's too like got a list of 100 things and what have you. No, most men who are healthy and masculine are very simple. And by simple, I don't mean like stupid. I mean like they have a few fundamentals and they usually observe to see if a woman will fall in line with those things. They're not telling her as soon as she sits down that you better be cooking for me and you better know that I'm the boss. And if he does all that, that's a huge turnoff. Why is he saying that? Why isn't he smart enough to just listen to you and hear if you say, "I love to do this. I want to take care of my man. I enjoy this. I enjoy that. I'm not this." Women will tell you too because they talk too much. They're always going to sit down and then say, "I'm not going to do this." And that should be enough information for him without him having to lay his rules down and tell you what he's going to do and accept and so forth. He's supposed to listen, take in the information and make a decision. That's what a safe man does.
All right, so you brought up a couple of different points, and I'm going to ask this question of you, Aisha. When we talk about safety, and we talk about how a man should communicate, and we talk about emotional intelligence, right? Do you think that some women might confuse emotional maturity with femininity? So a man who is, let's say, a man is comfortable with himself, and or in his masculinity, and he feels comfortable talking to his woman, again, not necessarily every day, but just being expressive, right? Is that do you feel or think that it's emotional maturity, or is it more feminine? Is that where the sassiness conversation is coming from?
Yeah, that's so. To me, I think it's emotional maturity. Like, how do you begin to tell someone how they should act, right? I know somehow we forget also how they were raised. Most of these men were raised by women. If you think about it, really, if you want to be honest, there was no father in the house for him to see the example of a dad, how a dad's supposed to behave. So he sees only women most of the time talking. So it's easier for him to probably lead from that space. But I don't see to me anything wrong with a man expressing himself and talking about who he is. Because to me, I don't think I would do well with a man that doesn't talk much. I won't do well because I love to have a conversation, and see how you're doing. I want to know. I don't want it to just be where you just see me, I just see you. Well, what is that, right? So I think that we have to look at the root of everything. And we know most of them were raised by women. And if they act a certain way, I think the grace that we should give them is, okay, let me understand first your background and where this is coming from. But if it's sassy, like being a woman and talking and like gossiping, that's a total different ball game from a man wanting to just talk about maybe things that are happening to him or what he needs and what he expires from the relationship. Two different things from saying, oh, being sassy like a girl. I think sometimes that may get lost if we put everybody in that space, because that's probably not what they're trying to do. Maybe just begin want to understand what they want as well as men in their relationship with their women and see how that can be better for both of them. I'm hoping that that's what, at the end of the day, that's the goal of it, is so that you hear where I'm coming from and what my needs are, so we can have a better relationship. Right.
Hey, Roy McKenzie. What's good? Okay, so that's actually, you made some really valid points, right? When you start thinking about that, a lot of, not, I won't say majority, but a lot of men have been raised by single moms, and so there's that when you're going into a relationship. Mary Dean, Mary, do you think that Black men feel heard when they share what they want in relationships? Because our conversation is, stop calling him sassy, or Black women dismissing Black men's standards. So when we're having a conversation like this and we're talking about, hey, when a man steps up and communicates and says, hey, this is what I want, this is what I need, these are my standards, and we say they're being sassy, not me specifically, but that's the topic of the conversation. Do you think that it's because they're not being heard or respected based on what their needs and desires and standards are?
As much as women are doing the most to please the men, from changing their looks, hair, makeup, nails, gym, the women are cooking, the women are cleaning. I feel like the women are the pick-me-shas out there. I mean, it's got its own name. They call them pick-me-shas, for crying out loud.
What is that?
A pick-me-sha? Pick-me-sha is the one who is doing the most to be picked by a man's wife. So they even have a term. They call her pick-me-sha. You never heard the term pick-me-sha? Yeah, so they call her pick-me-sha. I mean, and on some level, women, you want to be desired and picked by a man to be his wife. And so, but I mean, so I don't know if that's always such a terrible thing, but she even has a name that she's so, but when I think of pick-me-sha, I think of Coming to America, and he asks her, bark like a dog, and she starts barking like a dog, and he says, jump on one leg, and she's, ooh, ooh. Oh, well, that's a pick-me-sha, right? The extreme version of whatever he says and whatever he wants me to be is what I will show up as. And so I do think that they are being heard. I think that maybe they are, I don't know, not articulating themselves. I think, the thing about power is power doesn't have to ask to be, it just is, right? And so you don't necessarily, even when it comes to dating, you don't beg for love. Love is something that is supposed to be freely given to you. And so if a woman desires you in that way and you have certain standards, they should be understood and communicated through the dating. That's what dating is for. But I don't think that, I guess I do think that a man sitting on the internet telling the internet world and, YouTube streets and Facebook corners what I need in a woman and what she got to be. Well, I think that's what people are saying is sassy. But I like men having standards, and I like women having standards too.
I'm going to come at this from a different angle. I'm going to say that women don't know men. And I'm going to say that in this day and age, in this era that we live in, we have turned relationships into the man's role, main role is provide and protect, right? And so, and let me preface this with, there's way more men than there are women. So you have a whole bunch of women trying to get all these men, right? And so to your point, pick-me-shas, pick me. I want you, take me. I'll do it, whatever, right? And men, I believe, this my 2 cents, are at a place where it's like, hold on a second. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to be provided for. Everybody want to be paid for. Everybody want to be taken out. Like, hold on a second. It can't be everybody. I got some standards too. Like, I don't no, sis, not that. No, sis, not like trying to get to the one that he wants. Like, I'm looking for a woman that the church, whatever his things are. I don't just want any woman. It's not just going to be pick Misha. I'm looking for Ruth, or I'm looking for whomever it is. I know what I'm looking for. I don't want any woman. I want this type of a woman. I want a woman that's going to be good with my family and my mom. A woman that's going to raise good kids. A woman that's going to and I don't think that that's sassy to say, I don't want pick Misha. I don't want a woman that's just going to throw herself at me. I want a woman who's going to be smart, who, when we get together, we can build. Like I don't think that that's sassy, especially when you have 17 women to choose from. You trying to figure out which one you want. You have to have some kind of rigmarole and some type of rubrics that says, I don't want that, because there's so many of them. Go ahead.
Well, here's the question. Yes, you should have standards, but do you get on a soapbox and scream them to the world, especially when you know that when it comes to dating, if you tell everybody what you to be, people will pretend, right? They will act like their foot can fit into the glass slipper. And so really a wise person really just sits back and observes the females that he can choose from, and he chooses.
I mean, that does, right? I just feel like in today's, when we talk about, I think that's the traditional versus today. In today's day and age, it just doesn't happen that way. But let's go to commercial. In the chat, let us know what you think in the chat. Give us some feedback on what you feel about this whole sassy man thing. We're going to go to commercial. We'll be right back.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay.
Tonight, it's 2024, okay? And ladies, I just got one request. This one quick little request. Small little request, ladies. The word sassy. Like, we got to leave that back there, man. Like, everything a nigga do these days is sassy. Like, y'all always say that. Like, damn. A nigga can't even put Vaseline on his lips. He's sassy. Why I ain't supposed to just let my lips crack and bleed when I start smiling? I got called sassy for using Apple Pay. Like, how the fuck is that sassy? Like, no, you supposed to just whip out cash. Apple Pay? So you just gonna gently tap your shit on it? Oh no, that's too sassy for me. I mean, now we already know that we can't even block y'all numbers without being called sassy. Block a chick number? Oh yeah, she calling you sassy. Wait, he blocked my number? Oh, he's sassy. Like, what? He want his peace of mind? Sassy ass nigga. If you got an office job, they gonna call you sassy. You reckon that office? So what, you just sit down and type on the computer all day? That's a little too sassy for me. I thought you were gonna work at like a warehouse. You get what I'm saying? Work somewhere in construction, build the highways. Something like that. Like, get your hands dirty. Being in the military, like, what? They gonna call you sassy if y'all texting and you send back okay with 3 dots. I'm like, what? You got an attitude? Like, what? Sassy.
I can't help myself. Okay. He said, you can't do nothing, you're going to be sassy. God dang.
Sassy.
I have to say, I think, this is me. Y'all can tell me, I think this is a young folks thing. I don't think this is a grown folks thing. I think that this is look, if Miss Poach said this is a different generation. Exactly. I think that this is a generational thing. Wait, let me preface this. I think that the sassy conversation is a generational thing. I think that the women and men not listening to each other communicating is a human nature thing. Like this is not it's not a racial thing, it's not an age thing. It is a human thing. Eve messed it up. We will never listen to each other again. Man is like, no, ma'am. The first one had to. I listened to her, and we will never listen again. So now we have these communication problems. But let's just talk about it from the young people's perspective, like what he was talking about, right? How can people date? How can you have a successful relationship? I'm gonna get this to know Malinga. How can you have a successful relationship if the young ladies is thinking that everything that the men do is sassy?
So unfortunately, what people are calling sassy, I think, is a man who's coming off as effeminate, right? And I think Aisha tapped on something like, okay, how are we expecting men to behave unlike women when all they have around them are women, right? That's one thing. But I think that's extreme where you just moisten your lips or anything you do. But I think I say this almost every show where we're talking about relationships. I think sometimes what does happen, unfortunately, is people just don't have examples. So they're left to these wild fantasies and they just don't know. You think a thug, a person who's thuggish and harsh that's masculine. That's not masculine. That's a weak man who's unstable and led by his emotions. So it's like there's these wild imaginations, and so it's like, oh, the minute he even shows a hint of anything that even remotely looks like a woman might do, it's there he is, but it's definitely gone to an extreme, and it doesn't have to be. But if you want answers, there are really just a few basic fundamentals when it comes to men. And if you're a woman who's willing to educate yourself about men, you can pick up on, okay, I could take this, I could leave this, I can take this, I could leave this. And putting on, lip balm or whatever, that's not it. You're supposed to be listening to what he says, even though he doesn't say much. You're supposed to be looking at his demeanor. You're supposed to be asking questions about his background. What are his goals? What is he interested in? How do you feel about a woman that works? How do you feel about a woman that this or that? And most men will actually tell you, even if they don't use a lot of words. They might say, well, I don't think that's for me. Or I would love that. You see, so it's just like I said, it's like people are feeling around in the dark and just wild imaginations and just throwing all kinds of garbage out there,
Go ahead, Mary. I see you waiting to get in. Go ahead.
I love me some Mrs. Norma Langer. I do. But I'm sorry, if I see this man with lip gloss on, that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Is Vaseline lip gloss?
It looks like it. It is really greasy. Okay. And
so the choice of lip balm is what makes a man sassy?
Get you some chapstick. I'm just saying. if I see a man doing this with Vaseline, I might be turned off a little bit. That's just me. Now, that's just me. I don't want you to be, your lips better not be shinier than mine. Now, it's okay to have a little dirt under your nails. Now, I don't want you to be prettier than me. And I guess to me, that's what I hear when I hear the younger generation being upset with things like that. Because the lip gloss, he had me at Vaseline. No, do not need put no Vaseline. Get you some chapstick. It's $1. That's all you need.
Oh, we ain't never gonna be in relationships. But nobody, we can't get it together. We can't just let the man have. He said his lips don't want. They shouldn't be cracked. But just saying, hey baby, you know what? I agree with you. Your lips shouldn't be cracked. But let's use some chapstick. Let's not do the Vaseline. You don't want to see him doing like this. You don't want to see that. You just a little boom boom and keep it moving.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a whole production where
no.
Sensual. I mean, that again, it's about his posture, and how does you see?
Because here's the crazy part: the stuff that they're talking about, men have been doing for years. Men been putting the lip balm on or some Carmex. You put Carmex on like that. Like we ain't said nothing about putting Carmex on before. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I think it just came to me. Oof, just came to me. There's so, in the day and age that we live in right now, everybody's not truthful with the life that they want to live. And we have a lot of men who are living double lives. And I think that this younger generation is starting to notice certain things like, wait a minute, that's not what most heterosexual men, I'll say it that way, don't do that. And so I think this young generation is starting to pick up on things like, well, hold on, did you just your straw, or did you just like they're just starting to pick up on different cues based on this current dating environment, and try to be politically correct in how I say that. And so I think that that's where they're like, well, hold on, that's a little bit sad. Like, hold on. Like if you use the example of tapping to pay, like that one didn't matter. That everybody tapped to pay. I don't even carry cash. I'm sorry. Like I'm a tap. So I don't think that one is, but the other piece is usually you used to me and pulling out money. Like my dude, he still walks around with cash. I'd be like, how you always got money? He didn't even know how to tap. I had to teach him how to tap pay. He was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm paying with my phone. He was like, how do you do that? I was like, dude, here, did it. I was like, dude, you know Apple Pay? He was like, what's that? And I was like, oh, God, I gotta teach you everything. But he still carries money around. That's like the pull off, you know what I'm saying? My dad passed away. I have his money clip. Like that's the thing that I saved of him because it has his initials LJB, which are my initials LJB. So I think that might be why women, this next generation is like, that's a little sassy. Like, and really what they're saying is suspect. That's a little suspect. I think that's what they're saying. Not so much sassy because you want a man to talk to you. You want a man to be open, but you over here talking like I talk. We sharing, we both gossiping. Hold on a second. We shouldn't both be gossiping. We shouldn't both be talking about her shoes. I think that I think that the terminology sassy is the word that's being used because there's no real other word to say. You know, there's a little suspect. What y'all think?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I see a comment from Dr. Boyd saying some men are sassy, but too many sisters are way too masculine.
Masculine, yeah. It's against like a role reversal.
That does happen.
Comment, and I feel like that's the comment that is the reason why we have this discussion. I think that the men are too sassy and maybe the women are too masculine. And there's this tug of war where the women want soft spaces to land. Women want to be able to be soft. Women want that, but society really kind of requires you to sink or swim. And as Black women, you know, we are saving each other and ourselves pretty much. And so when you don't have a soft space to land, maybe you do get hard. And the men are so busy, instead of being a hard space so you can have be soft space for them to land, they want flowers and they want to be courted too. And so that's where I think both sides are saying, well, you need to be harder, but you need to be softer. And so, but how does that happen if you're not going to be hard? How can I be soft when we come together? And when you are hard, the thing about masculine and think about power, I feel like big fish always eats little fish. It is always going to be that. It can never be the other way around. And so when a king walks into the room, a female, and this is why I like masculine men, because there's no other seat to sit in but the HOC, right? I don't have a choice. I can't be more king than him. I can only be a queen in the presence of a king. And so
I always say, if I gotta be the man, we can't both be the man.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're gonna be the man, take that seat. But if you look at me to do it, then we got a problem.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Joe is saying, what is a masculine woman?
Joe Corley, where's my Joe? Oh, my Joe. Hey, Joe. What is a masculine woman? A masculine woman, in my opinion, because, you know, we're just out here getting opinions. In my opinion, a masculine woman is a woman who has traits of a man. She's probably going to be more dominant. She's probably going to walk in and lead the conversation. She's going to try to tell everybody what to do. And it's different than just being a leader. Right? Because I believe leaders can lead from the front and lead from the back. Mm-hmm. And you can lead with feminine energy. You don't have to lead with masculine energy. So masculine energy is very different. It's more bravado. It's more, I don't want to say my way or the highway, but from a woman, it's more like that, right? So it's taking on the aspects and personality and characteristics of a man. That's what I would say a masculine woman is. Let's go to our next. I think we're going to our producer said it's overbearing. Talk over a man. She has balls in her panties.
Yeah.
That's what Tiara said. All right. I think we're going to either a commercial or a video, or a commercial and a video, but we'll be right back.
You so used to treat niggas one way, you think every nigga go for what the whole ass nigga go for. You meet a real nigga now, he be like, I ain't never called that hoe ever again. He sassy. Cause he don't go for that. Bitch, don't talk to me like that, and don't talk to you no more for real. See you out like.
You know what?
He sassy though, but he real nigga.
Because he know what he wants.
He know what he ain't going for.
He know his word. He know what he deserves.
But what is he?
Yeah.
In this day and time.
And that is what I'm a very honest woman. We gonna call him sassy.
Because he like, I ain't dealing with that. But you used to a nigga like, what, babe? Like, woo. First time you told you, hey, babe, I don't like when you raise your voice. You raise it again, then nigga ain't talk to you no more.
We gonna find
he a fuck nigga now.
We gonna find all kinds of excuses. We gonna say all kind of stuff on, but the man was just standing on business.
Thank you. That's not respected in 2024. These niggas been going for this shit all this time, and I meet a real nigga, I don't even know what that look like, so I don't even know how to treat it.
I'm definitely gonna feel like I deserve another chance.
How?
He is.
How?
These are my list that I think that make men sassy. If you got long ass hair, you wear your hair in a ponytail, you sassy. If you say things like you tried it, period, girl, bye, are you done, are you finished, you sassy. If you clap your hands when you arguing and shake your head, you sassy. If you argue with a girl, go back and forth with a girl, you sassy. If you come before me, you sassy. If you got a little penis, you sassy. If you sit down and pee, you sassy. If you got long nails, you sassy. If you wear tight clothes, skinny jeans, stuff like that, you sassy. If you flip your hair, you definitely sassy. If you got baby hair, you sassy. If your booty bigger than mine, because some of y'all be in that gym, you sassy. What else? That's my sassy list. I'm going to come back with a masculine list for women.
My God, if you breathe, you're a man, you are sassy. I'm so sorry for you men out here today. That is crazy. This is that's it. No, Malanga, I'm gonna come to you. What you think? I see you, Joe.
A good portion of that list just sounded like a stereotypical flamboyant gay man. You talk about the eye rolling and clapping your hands to make it. I mean, she's just really describing the stereotype of a gay man who's very flamboyant. And then the word sassy, of course, fits. But then it's like, again, with the younger generation, it's almost like they take it a little bit too far, where now it's like we're looking for something. Oh, you put on lip balm. Well, you're sassy. Oh, you did this, you're sassy. It's just gone to an extreme. But the thing is, it really isn't that deep. Like, even with the question about what makes a woman masculine, there's just two little basic things. A woman is masculine when she doesn't want to be vulnerable. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want to submit. They go nuts when you talk about submission. It's like it's such an insult to them. That's usually like an indication that she's extremely masculine, because if you're a man, you cannot submit to another man. You see, so some of these things are just so simple.
Simple.
Joe, when you gonna be? We need you back. We need that masculine conversation, Joe. Come on back. But let me pull up Joe's point. My point is, isn't this about everyone living authentically and finding the match for them, or am I tripping? Because I know we not calling men sassy for having feelings and emotions. We absolutely are not calling men sassy for having feelings and emotions. I'm a sapiosexual, so I need you to be able to communicate. I love men that are emotionally intelligent and communicate. I'm a Virgo. I'm a perfectionist. I have opinions, so you got to talk back. I don't. what does he say? He used to say, "You're so combative," and I had to figure out how not to be combative. I'd be like, "I'm just passionate." He'd be like, "No, you're not passionate. You're combative." And I'm like, "Okay, so how do I communicate and not be combative?" He was like, "Most of it is just your tone and your bravado." And I'm like, "Rah!" So now I'm like, "Okay, so what do you think about?" I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "Well, I don't agree, but I can see your point." And he'll be like, "You don't have to agree," but so now it's like more communication, right? So no, communication is important, and having, being able to communicate with your person. I think that, again, what's happening is I said it's just the young folks, but somebody else came back and said, no, it's happening. Oh, the pendulum goes both ways. It's just that I think it's communication, misreading, not really knowing what you want. Hold on. That's masculine combative, yes, but you are not. But yeah. I think it's just, the other piece of it, I think, is social media. There is too many folks giving their opinion about stuff, and folks just suck it up. If somebody over here says it's sassy, this person's going to believe it's sassy. If somebody over here says it's not good, this person over here going to believe it's not good. If this person says this is good, we all like, there's too many opinions, and folks just jump on whatever sounds right and appropriate. And then before you know it, that thing runs, right?
It goes back to my point that people are just throwing stuff out and imaginations, and it's just wild, and there's no real strong examples of exactly what it means to be a strong man, what it means to be a feminine woman, what it means to be a family unit, to run together, live together, build together. Those are, like, again, it's just very simple. But in the absence of that good example, the only thing people can do is snatch random stuff, random rubbish off of social media and run with it.
Yep.
No Malinga's gonna manage to get rubbish in there at least one time an episode. Okay. All right, let's go to stats real fast. According to Pew Research, 67% of Black adults say there is tension between Black men and women in how gender roles are discussed online. I would agree on that. A 2024 study by Essence found that 59% of Black men feel their voices are misunderstood or dismissed in relationship conversations. I believe that too. Social media analysis by the Shade Room and X, formerly Twitter, shows over 30 million views across posts using the hashtag Sassy Men. Oh my God. Highlighting how humor and gender politics often overlap in online spaces. Therapists note that terms like sassy or zesty are often used defensively, masking discomfort around men who express emotions or standards that challenge traditional roles. Relationship coaches say that the rise of online conversations about high-value men and women has increased polarization, making empathy and dialogue harder to maintain. That takes us back to social media. But I think we're having two conversations. I think we're having one that is really about men who are a little bit sassier around their lifestyle and just traditional men. I think that there has to be a separation between the two. How do you think that we can improve communication around love and respect, Aisha? Because really, I think that that's the real conversation, right? Going back to what Joe said and being authentic, some women may want their man to be a little bit more expressive. Others may feel like, I don't want to hear it. And not in a negative way, right? It's not negative to say, I don't want to hear it, because some men feel like, I'm not going to tell you what's going on. I'm the man. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to tell you what you need to know. We're going to run this house, but I'm going to carry the troubles, right? Each household makes that choice and decision for themselves. But how is that communicated to say, this is the role, or this is how we want to run this house, or just to make sure that both parties are being heard?
I think, being authentic is important, right? I think that, to me, at the end of the day, that's what matters most. And if you meet someone and you date before you get married, you get to know who they are before you marry them, and know the kind of person that they are, the way they communicate, and then see if that's the right fit for you. But I think whether it's a man or woman, it's important for us to stay in our own true identity. As a woman, the way we communicate it's not the same as a man. A man is more authoritative and more of a leader. It's just natural. And if we allow them to, reign in that space, it makes life easier for all of us, right? And if the woman also listens to her husband and respects him and shows him that that value that he is to the family, it makes communication easier. But if we switch the roles and sometimes maybe the woman acts like a man or the guy acts like a woman, then we have these issues come up over and over again. And I think at the end of the day is the foundation. Where did it all begin? At the end of the day, honestly, is the men have watched women raise them, correct them, tell them what to do, and the women that are in the home have watched the women correct the men, tell them what to do. So then they grow up thinking it's okay for them to do that, and the men also go behind and maybe act sassy. I don't think it's all men, but that's what we're seeing today, where the gender role have been most of the time one way too much. The woman too much in the masculine side, and then the man not sure how to behave, and then when he behaves in a certain way, they think he's sassy. So it is crazy, but I think it's a foundation at the end of the day of what we're doing. But if you find somebody that respects and value you, I think that's something we have to all try to get for, and to be authentic with just who you are and what you like and how you like to communicate, because otherwise you be living a fake life, and before you know it, time is passing you by and it's all regrets and no joy, and nobody wants that.
And nobody wants that. I'm gonna go to the chat for a little bit before we get to our final thoughts. None of my producers tell me if we're gonna do one more video before we do our final thoughts. All right, actually, we're gonna. Oh, that's right. Let's go to our last commercial. I don't think we did the Black Business Directory, and then when we come back, we'll do our last video and do our final thoughts.
Are you a Black business owner looking to expand your reach? Well, has Fly Nubian Money got good news for you? We are building a Black business directory to connect you with customers who need your services. And here is the best part. It is absolutely free. Email us at info@realvirtual.net. Send us your business name. Tell us a little bit about what you do, what services you offer, your website address, and your contact information. That's it. Together, we are going to build and circulate the Black dollar. Get listed today and start connecting with people who are probably already looking for you.
Yo, women love to call men thirsty, but they hate a man that they can't manipulate with their body. If they can't pop off that bra, shake a little ass, and he's not drooling all over her, she is pissed. Like, how dare he ask for intellect, substance, a skill set, or conversation? I'm a woman. I don't need to do any of that.
And that's why when women call men sassy, they're absolutely right. And it's not that they're calling you gay. You just act like a bitch ass nigga, and they're fucking tired of it. Like the constant like complaining and whining and everything being an issue. That's what they're talking about with you being sassy. It's not they think you're gay. They just think you're a little punk.
They think you're a bitch.
And it's annoying as fuck.
Can't win for losing out here in these internet streets. That's what I got to say. I'm gonna end. Renegade said something. Here it is. If men corrected men and women corrected women, we would get somewhere. Tell the truth. That's the whole truth. If men dealt with men and women dealt with women, the issue is you have women trying to tell men what to do, and you got men trying to tell women what to do. Like if an older senior woman got with the younger sister and was like, girl, let me tell you what to do, how to do, like, you know what I'm saying? A wise one. Let me make a wise one, right? And a brother was like, hey, young man, I see you. Let me holler at you. Let me tell you to do. But what we have is women trying to tell men what to do, and men trying to tell women what to do. And even that last one, pandering. There's so much pandering on the internet. And if you don't know it's pandering, you will take it as truth, and you don't even know that this person is pandering to you. I hate, this is my own 2 cents. Black women are talking to black women, and black men are talking to black women. Who's talking to the black man? Like there's so much pandering that goes on online for people trying to get views, and people just saying what sounds cool and what they think you want to hear. And it doesn't even make no sense. You wouldn't even do that in your own life, in your real life. Like the pandering on social media is crazy to me. Before we get to our final thoughts, I don't know if you guys have heard, I think it just happened or came out this morning, that R&B superstar, soul music artist D'Angelo has passed away. And so we just wanted to send shouts out to his family. To his son, him and Angie Stone had a son, and Angie Stone passed earlier this year in March. I think it was like early March. And so that young man has lost both of his parents this year, with a matter of like 9 months apart. I don't know if either one of them had any other children, but we just wanted to send out, our condolences to the family. And man, hug somebody that you love today. Give them a kiss, give them a hug, give them some peace, forgiveness, whatever the case might be. We don't know when that day is going to come for ourselves, right? And so we're going to end this conversation from a place of love, right? And how I'm going to end it is on our final thought. What does healthy communication between Black men and Black women look like? The question says in 2025, but I'm going to say in 2026. Like, we're about to be moving into a whole new year. What does healthy communication look like between Black men and women? Mary, we'll start with you. This is your final thoughts. So also tell people where they can find you.
What does healthy communication look like between men and women? I'm going to say communicating with love. I think communicating with love and honesty and integrity. That's what it looks like. I think giving each other a space to be heard, giving men the opportunity to lead, giving women the opportunity to sit back and follow. That's what it looks like to me. Mary Dean Esquire here at thewallstreetlawyer.com. You can find me at thewallstreetlawyer.com. You can also find and support my mission, blackwallstreet.com, because Black wealth is critical to Black power. And shout out to the Black Bull of Wall Street, because, somebody just said in the comments that I have masculine energy. And so I want to take this moment to say thank you to the Black Bull of Wall Street, who laughed and said, anybody who says that when they look at me definitely don't know me. And it takes me, this is why I have to be around strong and powerful men, because I am a strong woman and I don't shy from that. Mary Dean Esquire here at thewallstreetlawyer.com. Hey.
All right. Aisha, same question for you, sis. What does healthy communication between Black men and women look like in 2026?
Yeah, healthy communication is just respect for each other and love each other, right? Because it's not easy to be in a relationship. But I think that if we just leave from a place of love and respect, I think we'll all be fine, and try to understand each other and allow each other to be authentic so that we can truly live this life in a way that brings us joy. Because at the end of the day, if we struggle and not living our own authentic selves because we're trying to fall in what social media, whatever is telling us, it makes it difficult. So I think that just respect each other, love each other, and live from that place, I think we'll be all fine. And where can you find me? I'm at Black Business School as a coach, and find me there. And also www.aishaverzi.com. If you need any help with your insurance, hit me up. I can help you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aisha. Last but definitely not least, we're going to round out our powerhouse queen table with Noma Langa. What are your thoughts?
Fundamentally, men and women respond to different things. And if you really want to communicate with a man well, the way you show him love is respect. Everything else comes after respect. And then a woman loves being adored, and she loves to feel safe. And again, if you can communicate with her in a way that leaves her feeling safe and loved and adored, you're well on your way. And above everything, every conversation that goes on between men and women should have a healthy dose of compassion, where you're trying to understand where the other person's coming from and hoping they'll understand where you're coming from. And you'll be well on your way to a successful communication and a successful relationship. My name is Noma Langa. You can find me on Facebook. I am Noma Langa Habroni on Facebook. On Instagram, I'm Noma Moses. And I never do a show without mentioning our charity that we have, a foundation that I co-founded in Botswana. It's called Pads for Our Girls. What we do is we provide sanitary pads for girls who experience period poverty, and sometimes some are not able to go to school because they're on their period. Simple as that. And we do our best to supply them with sanitary pads so that we can remove that problem. If you feel inclined, please go to padsforourgirls.com. Any amount, even just $1, makes a difference. And I always want to say thank you because actually the Fly Nubian Queen community supports our charity tremendously. So thank you.
I love it. Love it. Thank you so much. All right. So I'm just going to, I think I've said everything I need to say while we're communicating today. So my final thought really is just around communication. So one, giving grace and love to each other, not being so judgmental. The Bible says to get the log out of your eye. And a lot of times we'd be like, excuse me, hold on. I got to move the log out of our own eye to point out somebody else's. So I think there's some self-work, some self-awareness that needs to happen, but also some grace and communication that needs to happen. I'm super traditional. I'm modern and traditional. So I do believe in roles, right? I do believe that the man has a role and the woman has a role. I do believe that teamwork and partnership plays a part of that role, and communication and understanding. But I think that this new era that we're living in, and with including social media, that it is making things way more complicated and more difficult than they have to be. So I really like what I think it was Renegade had to say about if women would teach more women and men would teach more men, if we really acted like a community and we really stuck together and we really wanted to see generational curses broke and we really wanted to see the next generation do better than us, we have to get involved. We got to speak up. We got to call shit when we see it. We got to say that ain't what it is when we see that ain't what it is. Because we're getting so far away from our true selves and who we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to live and what we're supposed to do. One second. And so I think if we did better at that, we would see the dynamics between Black men and Black women become better. And so that's how I'm going to leave that, right? I am Dr. Lene Javette, monetization strategist, brand and brilliance coach. And at the end of the day, this isn't just about language. It's about listening. When we label someone instead of understanding them, we shut down real connection. Black men and women both have standards, desires, and expectations, and we owe each other respect when we express them. If we can move from competition to communication, we can build healthier relationships and stronger communities. Thank you to our incredible panel for keeping it real and keeping it respectful. As always, go out and have a great day today. Continue to be blessed, stay Black, and be one. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Peace.
See, a lot of men get upset when women call them sassy, but you got to realize this, fellas. Being a man does not automatically make you sassy. You have to earn that certificate. You have to earn that license to be a sassy man. And a lot of men today are fighting and tripping over each other to earn that license of a sassy man. And a sassy man, let me give y'all some examples. A sassy man is a man that competes with women. A sassy man is a man that enjoys seeing a woman in pain, enjoys seeing a woman suffer or struggle. That's sassy. When you are a man and you say stuff like, well, what's in it for me? You know, what's in it for me getting in a relationship with a woman? You know, what do you bring to the table? That's a sassy man. You know, a man that's sassy is a man that gets upset about being held accountable and say stuff like, well, what about the women? Women do it too. That's sassy. That is very sassy. A sassy man is a man that pocket watches women and shame women for their success. You know, well, I don't care if you went to school. I don't care about your degree. You need a man. Look at all these women's out here just making all that money. Look at you, making all that cash. You know, what's that, you driving a Mercedes? That's sassy. That's sassy. Shaming a woman for her success? What? A sassy man is a man that nitpicks women, finding something wrong with every category of women, just like there's just not one woman out there that's good enough, finding any little nitpicking reason to not commit. That's sassy. You know, if you watch red pill content, you don't like women. You just need to go ahead and come out the closet, bruh, because you don't like women. That's beyond unforgivable sassy. What's another one? One of the most honorable mentions that almost made this list, I'm going to just throw out some things. Like, if you're a man and you wear shades at night, or if you close the drawers with your hips, I'm going to just go ahead and throw that on the list. Yeah, that makes you sassy. Stop being sassy.
I got in from the gym at 9:15.